Well, good evening, everyone. And we have our good friend Murad back to talk to us. And today he's given us a presentation, as you can see, which is entitled The Ummayads Were from Central Asia. So welcome, Murad.
Thank you for having me once again. And what do you think of the title? How likely is it?
Well, I think there's a good chance that the Umayyads are from Central Asia, just simply because I know Abdul al-Malik is from Merv, which I know is in Central Asia. But beyond that, I don't know anything about the rest of his family or friends or group or anything like that. So I'd be curious to know, but definitely open to this suggestion.
Okay, if you go now to the next slide, we will look at it from external sources. As you see, this is the part from the Chronicle of Sibius, written around 660s. We do not have the original manuscript, and there is some problems with it. But as you see, the last line, the one before it, now you can press a click and you will see that they departed taking the road. These are the Jews who assembled at Edessa, as you see in the beginning paragraph. Where did they go? They went to Tajikistan. So they took the road through the desert into this place. Now press a click so that I tell you that Tajikistan is not Arabia and is not Paran, it's not Faran desert, and it's not Tajikistan desert, because some translations stuff this part in, because they cannot believe that Sibius actually placed the sons of Ishmael here.
It's such a big anomaly from most people's point of view. It destroys a lot of assumptions.
Yes. Now if you press and see that other historians know where Tajikistan is, if you look here, you will see that Sibius is referred to this area as Tajikistan. Which area? Nakhchivan. It's in the upper.
Do you want me to read that part?
You can read that part, yes.
Yeah, so just from the beginning. According to the Armenian historian Faustus of Byzantium, 5th century, when the Sassanid Persians invaded Armenia, Sassanid king Shapur II removed 2,000 Armenian and 16,000 Jewish families in 360 to 370. In 428, the Armenian Arshakuni monarchy was abolished and Nakhchivan was annexed by Sassanid Persia. In 623, possession of the region passed to the Byzantine Empire, but was soon left to its own rule. And so this is the place called Tajikistan, yeah?
Yes, Sibius referred to it as Tajikistan. Now let's go and see where is this on the map. So as you see, Sibius meant Nakhchivan, which is today Nakhchivan Autonomous Republic. It is part of Azerbaijan. As you can see here on the map, it is very close to Armenia. So Sibius was writing about something close to him, something he can relate to. He's not writing about something very far from him. What do you think?
Yeah, just looking at the map there, it looks like it's part of Armenia, or am I reading the map? It looks distinct from Azerbaijan.
This is today. Today it's part of Azerbaijan. Of course, through the years, maybe it has been part of Armenia, maybe not. I'm not sure actually. I do not have this. And on the right, you can see this
it might
is
have changed over there.
Yes, on the right, this is the Caspian Sea.
Right. Okay. So that's quite a distance away.
Yes. Now we can move on.
Yeah. So just to clarify, you're saying that at that time it was part of Azerbaijan, or are you saying it was part of Armenia?
No, today it's part of Azerbaijan.
Okay, but yeah, okay.
At that time, I do not know, but I know that this is the spot, you know?
Yeah. Cool.
Now, if it is Nakhchivan, let's look at the history of it. And if you can read, because some parts I cannot see,
Yeah.
You can read this.
The 19th century language scholar Johann Heinrich Hubschmann wrote that the name, how would you say it again? Nakhchivan
Nakhchivan.
in Armenian literally means the place of descent, biblical reference to the desert of Noah's Ark on the adjacent Mount Arafat. Wow, that's a very significant place.
Yes.
Wow, that's a shocker. Armenian tradition says that Nakhchivan was founded by Noah. Wow, 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 wow. That
Yes.
is quite a surprise. That is,
Before
I wasn't
you go
expecting that.
before you go on, you see Mount Ararat. That's what's written in the Bible today.
Yeah,
But if you look at the original translation, it's
yeah,
mountains with an S. Mountains of
yeah,
Ararat. So it could be around Turkey or around this part. We do not know.
yeah,
So this opens the idea of maybe Noah's Ark was here, but this is not what we are trying to talk about. But this is just intriguing, you know. So
Okay,
you
this
can
is
go on.
okay. So this is
Yes.
sort of a marginal point. Okay, first century Jewish historian Flavius Josephus also wrote about Nashivan, saying that its original name. Now that I would struggle to. Well, I
Yes,
won't give
this
it in
is
Greek.
Greek. This is Greek. I'm just looking
In English,
at the English. Yes.
in English, place of descent is the proper rendering of the Armenian name of this very city. So place of descent seems to be a consistent meaning of it.
Yes, exactly. So this is the place that maybe Noah's sons started from. This is the descent.
Yeah. Okay. So Nakhchivan is extremely arid and mountainous. Its highest peak is Mount Kabudzuk, 3,904 meters, and its most distinctive is Landag or Snake Mountain, 2,415 meters, which is visible from Nakhchivan city. According to legend, the cleft in its summit was formed by the keel of Noah's Ark as the floodwaters abated. Uh, Kazang Kazangodag, 3,829 meters, is another major peak.
Yes. Now click and look at the picture.
Cool.
These parts they thought maybe are part of Noah's Ark.
Yeah, yeah.
So we can move on and see something else also has to do with the history of Nakhchivan.
According to legend, Noah is buried there, and this is his grave. Wow.
So you see, either it happened or it didn't. This is his grave or not. But we know that this place has a good history. And that's why Eusebius knew it and Josephus knew it and so forth.
Yeah.
So what do you
And I
think so
suppose,
far?
well, it's very intriguing. It's all new to me, and I think the key thing isn't whether he was or wasn't buried there. I think the key thing is people believed he was at that time.
Exactly.
Yeah. Should we move on? Next one?
Yes, yes. So now we have another external reference. The first one was Eusebius. Now let's see what the Chronicle of Fredegar says, which is written in the 650s. Now this comes from someone who is Latin, who has nothing to do with Eusebius, and they definitely didn't talk to each other about this. If you can read the first 3 lines and tell me what do you think.
Okay, the Hagarenes, who are also called Saracens, are circumcised people who of old had lived beneath the Caucasus on the shores of the Caspian in a country known as Ercolia, had now grown so numerous that at last they took up arms and threw themselves upon the provinces of the Emperor Heraclius, who dispatched an army to hold them. Wow. So So this is actually saying that the Saracens are really from this area, which is way off near the Caspian Sea.
Yes, now when you click, I highlighted this part.
Yeah.
So the circumcised people, who are the Saracens, look at this. It says, who of old had lived beneath the Caucasus. of old. So maybe they went all the way to Petra or something later. We do not know. He's
Yeah.
here giving you the
Yeah.
oldest version.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah. That's interesting. And I think I've seen this somewhere before. Yeah, I think I must have read it once or twice before this one, but it's only in retrospect, having seen what you've shown me before, that this is now
Yes, but people, they
making
ignore
sense.
this one. They ignore this one. They say Fredigar is very confused, and they just ignore it because this will open up a totally new theory.
Yeah.
Now, he says that the country is known as Irkulia. Where
Yeah.
is Irkulia and what is this name? Now, let's move on.
Yeah. Do you want me to click further?
Yes. Irkulia, people do not know where it is. But the only logical explanation, I've researched this, and it might be Hirkania today.
Okay.
Now, click so that we see the Caucasus Mountains.
Yeah.
Here it is. And then click so that we see where is Hirkania.
Yeah.
There it is. And now you can see where is Armenia, of course.
Oops, sorry. Let me just go back. Okay. Yeah, I see Armenia is. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So really, the action is happening around the Caspian Sea, and it's quite a distance away from Arabia there, but it's literally on the opposite side of Iran from Arabia.
Yes. Now let's move on.
Mm-hmm.
If it is Hirkania, then certainly it has some history. If you can read this part, then we talk about it.
Okay, according to Paulus Orosius, following the suppression of a revolt in Phoenicia and the conquest of Egypt in 343 BC, Artaxerxes III deported Phoenician and Egyptian Jews to Hyrcania as punishment for opposing him.
Yes.
And the Jewish
This
wars
comes from Josephus, yes.
Yeah. The Jewish war states that the iron gates Alexander erected were controlled by the king of Hyrcania on the south edge of the Caspian, and allowing passage of the gates to the Alans, whom Josephus considered, I think he pronounced Scythic tribe, resulted in the sack of Media. Well, these iron gates, these are the famous gates that are mentioned in Islamic lore.
Exactly. And now Bala is listening, and I'm telling him when we talk about the debate, he has to be ready to answer these things.
Yeah.
Now, Josephus considered these a Scythic tribe. Hold on to that name, Scythic, because we will look at it again as we go on. We can now go on.
Yeah. Okay. So Hyrcania.
This is the religion. Yes, this is the religion of Hyrcania. You can read this part.
Okay. Hyrcania and the rest of Iran in antiquity was dominated by Zoroastrianism, which was practiced by the majority of the population. Christianity and Judaism was also practiced in the region, and Bar Shaba, the apocryphal 4th century AD bishop of Merv, is attributed to the foundation of Christian monasteries in Hyrcania, and so we have a Merv connection straight off there.
Yes.
Oh, so there's a connection between Merv and Hyrcania.
Exactly.
Interesting. A diocese of Gurgan of the Church of the East is known to have existed from 424 AD. Cool.
Yes, this is Syriac, and when you look at this, you will find that these are multiple names of people from the Church of the East here in the 5th century, and they were there. So we can move on.
Just one thing to point out is the fact that there was a Christian presence in Merv might explain why Abdul al-Malik was concerned with Christian matters when he was in Damascus.
Yes, this will be a good explanation.
Okay. Do you want me to read that?
Yes, I cannot see the upper parts, so you can
Okay.
read this.
Some Hyrcanian Jews returned to Palestine. However, they maintained a presence within the region as late as the 4th century AD. After the fall of the Sasanian Empire in 651 AD, Hyrcania was known as Tabarstan.
Tabaristan is where the Tabari is from, Al-Tabari.
Oh, right, okay.
You see?
Yeah, I don't know. I went ahead just to give people a chance. So Al-Tabari is connected with this place as well. So far we're seeing Abdul al-Malik and we're seeing Al-Tabari connected with this area in different ways.
Exactly.
Cool.
Now we will look at the Ummayyads decoded, and if you read this first part and tell me what do you think.
In Central Asia, there is a city mentioned in manuscripts called Amuya or Amal. No, it doesn't. I wish it meant something to me, but it doesn't mean anything to me at the minute. It is a city on the Silk Road between Balkh on the east and Merv on the west. Now, just before we go any further, obviously Balkh is of significance, as this was the place that was mentioned before, and Merv is also significant because Abdul al-Malik is from there. But I didn't realize both of these places are on the Silk Road. And
Yes.
could you just remind the audience what the significance of Balkh is?
Well, Balkh is the place where it has a Kaaba. It has the Kaaba of Zoroaster, and near it, it has also Naqsh Rustum that Bala told us about, and this is very significant. So you see, Balkh, maybe some people hypothesize that this is the original Mecca, and it had lots of Zoroastrian influence and Buddhist influence and stuff.
Cool.
So as you see, this city is near, and it's near the Caspian Sea. So let's go and see about Amuya.
Okay. It is an old city that the manuscripts mention that Alexander went through before establishing the city of Merv. Okay, so Alexander the Great had a connection to it. Interesting.
Yes.
The Amaridian, is that how you pronounce it? Amarid?
Yes, you see here
Amaridian people?
Amardian or Amuya or Amul or Mardians, it's all a variation for the same name. The
Okay.
Amardian people were an ancient Iranian tribe living along the mountains, a mountainous region bordering the Caspian Sea. So you see, this was an Iranian tribe near the Caspian Sea.
They are said to be related to, or the same tribe, as the Dahe and Sake. Is that how you pronounce it? Sase or Sake? I'm not sure. That is to say, they were Scythian.
Yes, this is the same word that Josephus said.
Yeah. Right.
Yes, now we can go on.
Yeah. In Central Asia, there were people called Mardians, and in some references, they are called Amardis or Amard people. And in Middle Persian, Pahlavi sources, they were called Amui.
Now if you read it, it will be Amawi.
Amui, okay.
Amawi, this is the same.
Yeah.
As in Arabic, Amawi or Umayyad, it's the exact same word. Also Marda or Amart. So do you see the significance here?
Yes, so this is actually the origin of the name you made.
You see the word Umayyad in Arabic, it has no meaning and it has no root.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in the Middle Persian or the Pahlavi, it's called Amawi. Yeah. This is very significant here. Now we can go on.
Wow, this is a real shocker. It describes people who used to live in different areas, some on the east of the river Amudarya, east of Iran. Is that how you pronounce it? Amudarya
Amudarya, east of Iran.
Iran. And it is
And
believed
yes, that these people called their city what? Amawiya in Central
Umayyad.
Asia.
So that's pretty much the same as Umayyad. It's very close.
Exactly.
Yeah, wow. So they essentially called their city Umayyad. That's amazing.
Yes, now let's look at the maps.
Yeah. Okay, so we have the Caucasus Mountains, Hyrcania, Armenia.
Well, you can explain this now.
Yeah.
Here is the Caucasus Mountain, as Fredigar described, and here is Hyrcania.
Yeah, and Armenia is mentioned here on the left, and to the right there's, I presume, is Amaya, the city.
This is Nachivan. This is the
Okay.
place where Sibius mentioned.
Yeah.
And now, if you click, you will see the arrow going. This is the route that Sibius mentioned.
Yes. Do you know what's interesting about that? This route follows the Silk Road east.
Yes.
Interesting. That's interesting. And this is the route that I had speculated a few days ago that might be a pilgrimage route that Abdul al-Malik was trying to inaugurate towards Jerusalem. But not that was proven, but this is interesting, yeah.
If you press another click, you will see now Amardians. You will see where they are.
Oh, right, okay. Just right next door to the Hyrcania.
So you see, this is the milieu. This is the place that the action was. What do you think of this?
I think the evidence is pretty strong here. So where that Amardians is, does the Silk Route go along the southern part of the Caspian Sea there? It does, doesn't it?
I think it does, and I'm not sure 100%. But this is the part where you have the word Amawi in all of the ancient text, and it is a tribe from Iran.
Yeah, and it's connected to Umayyad.
Yes, this is the question. This is the question I'm posing. Were these the original Ummayyads?
Yeah.
This is the question.
Yeah, it certainly has a very strong sounding connection to it. And I see this Scythians are sort of northeast of there as well.
Yes.
We have two sources independent from each other, Fredigar and Sibius, that place the Saracens near the Caspian Sea.
Yes, these two sources, as you see, are pre-Islamic traditions, which were written by the Abbasids. So two independent sources, placing them in the same spot.
Now, explain that thing. You have written pre-Islamic traditions and written by the Abbasids. That doesn't make sense to me. How can they be pre-Islamic?
I mean these two sources, which are Fredigar and Sibius, they are pre-Islamic traditions, which were written by the Abbasids.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, they are pre the story of Islam, so they should be trusted a little more.
Yeah. That's it.
Yes. Now, the Amardians, or the Mardian people, were called Amawi in Middle Persian Pahlavi. That's what we saw now.
Yeah.
This is significant, of course, because in Arabic we just say Amawi. It means the Umayyad. Yeah. Here, the first coin with a full Shahada was actually in Pahlavi, not Arabic. It was struck in 691 or 692, and I got this from Islamic Awareness. You know, this website
Yeah, yeah.
is for defending Islam.
What about the coin by Al Zubair? Did he not have one in 685? But that doesn't have a shahada. That's just declaring Muhammad a prophet. Is that all it says in that one?
Yes, yes,
Oh,
the full Shahada
yeah.
was first in Pahlavi. It
Wow.
was not in Arabic. And even when you have on the coin Mehmet Rasulullah with the T, it's in Pahlavi. So this is very significant. And it means that Muawiyah and Abd al-Malik, they knew Pahlavi. So they would have known that they were Amawi, just like the Pahlavi sources called them.
Yeah.
So you see, this is just easy.
Yeah. Okay, so it is highly unlikely that the Umayyads came from Mecca or Medina.
Yes, this is highly unlikely because there is no evidence whatsoever. No evidence from Mecca or Medina having a group of people called the Umayyads.
Yeah.
Maybe some people passed by, like when you have Muawiyah's inscription in Al Taif that you showed me, but it is clear that he was just passing by. This is not his original place.
Yeah. I would have thought that the only reason why there was an inscription there was that he had commissioned a dam to be built in that area. It's not because he was in that area himself. The same as, you know, if a president of a country had any significant building put up, there might be an inscription there. It doesn't mean that the person was living there. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. So it is more probable that they were the Mardian people.
Yes, and this is the question now that I'm posing for the viewers. Do you think this is likely? And I would like to hear Bala's opinion because, of course, he likes the Umayyads, but he likes the Islamic tradition. I do not like the Islamic tradition because it's not very historical.
No,
I
same.
want to know, yes, I want to know, are these the Amawi people? Because in another video in the future, we will look at the Abbasids also.
Yeah.
Were they from Central Asia? This is another question because this will open up new horizons. So you see now, as a conclusion, the Caspian gates of Alexander the Great, the Iron Gates, and there are also legends, or maybe it's not legend but history, that Heraclius made peace with the Persian emperor or Shah in around the Caspian gates. Maybe this is why he was significant, and maybe why they connected him with Alexander, because he made the peace treaty in the Caspian gates, the same gates that Alexander built. So you
Excellent.
see, yes, here there are connections, and we will talk. Yes, yes, go.
I have to say I'm fully bought in by this argument. I think the evidence is very strong there, and the amazing thing from my point of view is I always associated the Umayyads with Damascus and the West, and the Abbasids with the East, and now it's totally overturned that idea. You know, very interesting.
The Abbasids. This will be for the next video. I do not think also that they were Arabian, and we will see lots of proofs about that. And we will see where Abdullah ibn Zubair was from. And we will also see that. We will see that just from his coins also. So the question is, do you think this is more likely? This is the question.
And leave your comments below. Well, Murad, I don't know if you want to say anything else, but just thank you very much for all the hard work, and this is an amazing addition to our understanding.
Thank you for having me, and I just want to hear what the audience think, and they give the scenario. Now, if they think this scenario is likely, how can they work it out? So they will just now like reconstruct the Umayyads in the Islamic conquests and stuff. Try to reconstruct the narrative with the Umayyads being the Amardian people coming all the way to Damascus. That's all.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Murad.
Thank you for having.